Welcome to Irembo Tech Talk. I am Paradis. I am a product design lead in Irembo. And today we are going to talk about a topic that has been making the buzz in the world, but we are looking at it from the product design perspective. With me today is someone I work with a lot, but I will let him introduce himself. Serge, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Paradis. My name is Serge, as you said. I'm a product design lead here at Irembo, working on multiple products, notably Irembo Golf and other products that we have here at Irembo. So Irembo Golf is one of, our popular product that I've been working on. I think people are familiar with that. So I think that's all I can say for now.
Thank you, Serge. Welcome. So now, there's no school that teaches product design in Rwanda. How did you end up in design? What was your story?
So my journey into product design started really when I was in university. So I was studying creative design, which kind of relatable to the product design, but not the same. Then when I was doing the creative design, I had my friends were doing computer science and computer engineering, so they approached me to help them on some of the project because they knew I know design, so they thought I can design for them one of the project they were working on. Then that's how it started. Basically, I started working with them, and then from that I started doing research. I learned about product design, but then it was called UI design. That's how I can say it. So just doing UI, or just doing beautiful landing pages, things like those. And then in the end, I ended up, after my university, I went to do a internship into UX design. I think that's what I can say.
Interesting. So now on to our topic. When AI started, it was same thing for us. Nothing was really going into the work that we do every day. We usually started using it as, let's say, in copies or small things like prompts. But now today, I think AI, at least for me, is incorporated into our daily workflows, at least in product design. When did that shift happen for you?
Yeah, I think the shift started slowly, but then it happened all at once, that you can say. As you know, the AI have been something that we read about. Silicon Valley tech leaders were talking about it, and it was exciting.
Right.
You read about it, but then you go and continue whatever you're doing in the usual tool that we use. It used to be just only for writing. You wanted it to create your email or messages. But the actual shift really happened when they started integrating the AI into the tool we use. Tools like Figma, tools like I can say Google Docs. Then from that moment, that's when we started really approaching AI as a different thing, as an assistant instead of just copywriting. Yeah.
Now, all of that is beautiful, but now using practical examples, workflows, designers' workflows, you usually user research, you interpret, get insights, start with lo-fi, wireframes, hi-fi, all of that. Where did AI actually, was it meaningful? Where, in which step was it meaningful in your work, using practical examples, if you have some?
I can say starting, as I said, we are using it in writing, so it used to help us in things like trying to analyze research data. You would have this recording from the research you did on the field, and then it used to take like a week to go through them and analyze them, but now you can feed it into AI, and it gives you a really good report that you can then use to start thinking about the experience you're going to provide. But not only that, recently they've been evolving rapidly. If you look into tools like Figma, the way they integrated it, in the starting, we're using it for microcopy, placeholders. Looking to like Figma, where we've been doing a lot of redundant work. For example, writing placeholders, trying to make relevant content relevant. Now it's something that you could prompt with Figma, and then it just generates the placeholders and dummy content. Not only that, I think recently with tools like Claude and Stitch, there's a part of design where you can basically give a context to an AI, and then it gives you what I can call a starting point. Basically, it's like a quick mood board, but also a quick first draft, so that you can start from that. But again, you have to make sure you give it a good context. Yes.
Has it actually increased your speed? Because I'm saying this because it could be easier to prompt one prompt, but it takes time to build context. Prompt, you talked about Claude or Stitch. Build context, give them context, work with them. Has it actually been faster for you, or it's just that now it has switched and you are working with those tools but with the same speed that you had?
Yeah, definitely it's fast. It's fast because either way, the context you already had to have it. You had to do research, you had to collaborate with the product managers so that you understand. You have to document at least what is the problem. So you always had that context documented somewhere. So then giving it to an AI, it's easy for it to basically give you that first draft. It's like a thinking partner. Right? So you give it that context, and then it starts, for example, it gives you a starting point. It's the same way you can go into other tools and start using, for example, for documentation, using a template for Notion. I think it was things like that, but then that template is generated from your context. It's not something that is already there. Yeah, that's what I can say. So it's faster, and the time we're spending trying to research about other websites that are doing the same thing they're going to do, creating mood boards, analyze what is trending in the industry. All of that time, it got cut short by AI.
You just talked about a point with collaboration. Product design doesn't happen in isolation. I agree. Has AI played a part in how you collaborate with other stakeholders? Like, let's say, engineers with the handle. Has it played a part, or has it improved any part in that?
I can say on that part, not really. So it's a new thing. I can say we're still experimenting it because there's new capabilities with AIs to help us into basically streamline that collaboration and make it smooth as and better as those. One of the things I think I can help us, and we tried it. It's not fully integrated, but we tried it. It's right now we can develop better prototypes that are really interactive. So if you look at how the prototype used to be, right now it's easy to vibe code, for example, a prototype from the design you have in Figma and change it into code, so they'll be interactive. So it's easy to present it to the other teams. Going forward, I think we're going to also talk about it. It's in the future we are looking into how can we leverage that vibe coding into something that is usable, not only for prototype, but we work with engineering so that we give them the basically the ready to use front end code. But it's something that you have to be careful about because, as I said, AI is AI, and there's the way as designers we do things. We do our design. There's a structure. There is basically the processes that we do. But also engineering also has their way they do their codes. So it's something we have to sit together and see how we can leverage so that we generate, for example, the codes that are really usable for them.
I think I've had a good point of view on that. I used to have a lot of back and forth with my engineers, especially on the final look of the products that you're building. But now since AI came, I don't know how they do it, but all of a sudden it looks like a prototype I gave them. So that was really a point for me. So a quick one. Has AI ever produced something that surprised you? Something that without AI you could not have thought of, or something like that?
I'll say visually, I don't think there is, because again, AI is learning from the internet. So it's something polished, but from what is already there out on the internet. But if you're looking into it as an assistant in thinking partner, it really helped because at some point when you, as I said, when you give it a good the context, it starts and really ask you questions to make sure it understands whatever you want to reach. It kind of brings good question that will make you think deeper and bring more question that you thought before. So it's something I think I noticed in that process where you could bring, for example, a research transcript that you got from the field, but then if it was you reading it, you might miss something. But it's easy with AI to really give you a good report, but also to highlight something that you might miss, or even remind you of some of the questions maybe you didn't ask. So I think on that part, I think that's why it surprised me. Because I think we used to, for example, work on something, and in the end of it, in the middle, we found out that we forgot about something. But if you use AI as your thinking partner, it really and make sure you don't just go with what is it giving me. You go with, I want you to help me. You ask questions, you ask it questions, and you let it ask you questions.
So you stay with the judgment.
Yeah, then you stay with, you are the judge. Basically, you are shifting from just a designer to kind of a director. Yeah.
So this is a classic one. With the updates that has been going on with the AI, every day I feel like there's a new tool, there's a new update, there's something. Even keeping up with it is hard itself. And this is a classic one. For, let's say, in the next 5 years, do you see AI replacing designers? Think about it.
Yes, I think it's yes and no at the same time again.
Pick your struggle.
Yeah, so the yes, I would say if you are doing product design, I would say if you're doing UI design, you're just looking at making things look good, then definitely AI will replace you. But if you are a critical thinker, creative thinker, you want to produce things that really talk to your customers, talk to your users, your user audience, then you have to be the judge in that, because I don't think AI understand know all the contexts in all the world, right? The way we use digital product in Rwanda, it's not the same way it would in the West they use it. So there's a difference between digital literacy in Rwanda and digital literacy back there. So then you have to be the one who give it that context, as I said again, to make sure whatever it's giving you, you may have to analyze it as director and make sure it fits into your local audience.
I think we also have to pay attention to that a lot, especially in the local context. We have to move from the mindset of product designers just design good screens or design screens that end up being used in a certain way to orchestrators. So to understanding that that you, the product designer, you have to know how the users are interacting with your product, not necessarily going and looking at them, but really understanding through data, through any means that is possible, because that's the only way you stay with the power and ground your decision in real facts. And that's what, to me, differentiates a product designer who just uses AI to produce screens, and that is the one, to me, who is facing a threat. I agree with you. Versus the one that really understands with the data, with the facts, with everything, how users are interacting with the product and why. So now, building on to that one that you just said, AI is being trained on, at least until now, it's being trained on Western products. It's being trained on Google, it's being trained on Stripe, and the context with those products is very different from the context that we are building in right now. And it could be very much visible. How do we make AI now work for us and not just for us and our users, and not just produce things that could be produced by anyone actually.
Yeah. Not only in design, in tech, in general, we follow the trend of the Western trend because they are ahead of us. But again, we have to also think more about our audience, our users, because at the end of the day, we are, particularly in Irembo, we are dealing with a very localized audience. And there's a difference between a citizen from Europe and a citizen from in Kigali, and even the majority. Yeah, there's a lot of...
At least Kigali is advanced. Let's say in rural areas, basically.
Yeah, for example, the rural areas. So the way we do that is stop taking AI as something that will give you something final. Just give you what I can call recommendation. It's the same way you can get inspired from a Western platform, but you don't copy everything they have because it may not work in one day. So you can learn from them, get inspired, and then put it in one context. So the same way, we stop using AI as as it giving you a final design or final solution, but instead as a recommendation. So you, at the end of the day, you are the one
who takes
decisions, who analyze it and say this might work or this might not. I think where AI actually help better is it can produce multiple iterations instead of we used to have, for example, sit down and from those inspiration, you try to make multiple iteration manually, and then you try to test them. But now I think AI, where it helps us and really remove that bias, is it can create multiple iterations. You judge them from those iterations, and then you can do tests and then come back with the results. Yeah.
So I think from what you just said, it's really coming up to the user knowing exactly why everything is where it is and the role that it is playing. Now with AI, I feel like junior designers have been equipped heavily. The outputs they have previously required years of experience, years of learning, where you really get to understand why certain things are placed the way they are placed maybe. But now they have it handy. So are we building a community now that gives just proper outputs, or what do we need to do basically to make sure that even the generations that are being raised with AI, with easy tools, get to understand that whatever you do, whatever you put out there, even though it was from an AI, you have to basically hold the decision.
Yeah, I think there is a transition there that need to happen because there's some examples of things that have been happening, and you look at the design from some designers and you can know this were done just fully by AI.
Give us examples. Spill the tea.
Spill the tea. I don't think... Okay, I can say, for example, you could try to hire designers, and then when you give them an exam, they submit everything they submit, the output, and you can look at it and see that it wasn't thought through.
How do you know?
It doesn't address the problem. You could see that some of the key things that a human can really focus on are missing, and it comes back to that Western bias to say it.
The local context.
The local context is missing. You could see it's a generic thing that maybe you can say, for example, it's a health support app, right? And the thing they bring, you could see that there's no context to not work in Rwanda.
Not work in Rwanda.
If I tell you to think about a solution to work in Rwanda, and you try to bring a solution that only works on, for example, on smartphone, you don't think about...
It's the smallest percentage.
The smallest percentage
of
the population, and then you don't bring out things like USSD. Even if you don't bring that design, but it should be something you mention or talk about. Yeah, to be rational about it. To be rational about slow internet. So those are the things that an actual design should focus on. first focus on the user. Who are the users, and what are their constraints, so that you feel that gap. So that's how basically we detect it. But again, another thing is you can be a good prompter, trying to give it examples and all that. But some people even actually don't care about the design. And if you look at the design, for example, that Claude generate, because it's Claude, they kind of look similar in terms of the look, right?
But now you can with the Claude design, now the recent upgrade, you can give it your design system, it learns from it and builds exactly what you could have built, basically.
Yeah, it can also breed a design system actually inside. But I think that one is, for me, it's okay about the look. What I care about is the usability of
it.
Yeah, the user experience you are trying to provide. That's what I care about. Yeah.
So now, you've mentioned Claude, you've mentioned Stitch. What are the tools do you actually use? For which, because for me, for example, sometimes ChatGPT is better for, let's say, words, but for actual context, Claude is better. So how many tools do you use? Which ones are they? And for what do you use it for, basically?
Yeah, I think for me, the one I use mostly is Claude because of its capabilities.
Which capabilities?
I understand that other tools have to have the same capabilities, but with a trend, you can't switch all the time. So at some point, you say, let me stick to that. So Claude had been working good for me, so I stay there.
If you stick to one now, are you not missing out on what others could be providing? Because as I said, Claude was not a big deal a few years ago. It was ChatGPT the big deal.
Yeah.
But now Claude came with a lot of intensity, a lot of features, a lot of understanding of the actual user. So if you stick on one thing, is it not defying the purpose?
I don't think it defies the purpose, but again, you don't have to stay in that blind spot. So you have to learn to at least know about other tools and what they're providing, so that you compare.
So you use Claude?
So I use Claude, but I follow the news about other. For example, now I know that with ChatGPT, the OpenAI Codex, they have a new Codex is okay. They're saying it's better than Claude Code. I didn't test it, but that's the thing that you follow up and see what are the new capabilities.
Why do you use Claude and not Figma AI? What's the difference?
The difference is
the
difference is Claude is integrated in Figma already.
So is Figma AI.
So I think two different things. There's Figma AI. There's also Figma to Claude and Claude to Figma.
I see.
Right?
MCP.
So Figma AI, the reason I don't like to use it is it's limited to producing prototype, right? But then when you go to Claude Code, it's a lot of things.
Yes.
Right? It's a lot of things. Even the Claude, you can feed it with documents, as I said. So it have a better context than the Figma AI. Figma AI usually it helps you when you're doing design. It helps you when you're doing throughout the process. You can take it, as I said, to fill in placeholders, and it randomize a relatable content, things like that. But then when you want really to do an actual thinking work, Claude is better in that area. But also, I'd say you mentioned Stitch. Use Stitch too for having quick variation, quick ideas to you, starting points, ideas, because it does a good job with just creating fast iterations as a starting point. If you want to have ideas, instead of it basically replaced the time we used to go into mood board and do research online. So that's what I can say. Other tools are like Gemini, but Gemini I use it into documenting through because we use most of the time we use Google products like Google Docs, Google Sheets. So also Gemini help on that part. But I would say daily basis it's Claude and Stitch and Figma.
So to make sure that maybe we are understanding your product preferences well. Let's say, for example, you have a new feature coming. There's a new problem to solve. How do you go about that from the moment you receive the problem to when you actually hand off, or when the actual problem is solved? Walk us through that journey
Thanks
you have received.
thank you for bringing that up, because I think it's something that AI really impacted our processes. Before, the process was kind of linear. You could do research about the problem, define the problem, you design, you test, then you iterate till you ship, right? So right now, I can say with AI, things like research is very fast. So because there's research that you do on internet, there's research that you have to go on the field. For example, research on internet have been very, very fast to do with AI, but also research on the field, when you have those transcripts, AI really help you to analyze the research easily. So that part would take like a whole week just research, or 2 weeks, but now it's something that you can do in a few minutes.
So coming up to that example, you have a problem to solve. You take 2 routes. You do your research on internet. AI has helped that make that faster. But you also go to the field, talk to people, understand the real constraint behind that.
Yes.
That with the help of the transcript, AI has also made it faster. Now you have insights, right? What did you do next?
So from there, then when you have those insights, the good thing with the AI tools like Claude is you have those insights, and it can be one conversation or a project. So those insights, it already have that insight. Then from those insights, you can analyze it and create your own rationale, right? From the insight you got from it, and then that rationale also you give it to the AI, and then, as I said, can give you a starting point instead of.
So now you're in the solution space.
Now
you have
the
entered the
solution
solution
space,
space.
yes. The solution space also had, after that rationale, you would go and also do another research on internet to see who are the people who are doing the same thing that you are doing, how are they doing it. That also, it was another time spent, but now it's something also the AI can do. But
I really want to
again, as I said, as
understand.
a director, you have to be the one directing step by step, right?
I really just want to understand how it gets into your work. So let's say, for example, you have insights and you've searched on the internet, you know how other people are solving that specific problem. Now, when it comes, do you go straight into lo-fis? Do you start with hi-fi but different variations to test different solutions? What is the step that follows that? And then which AI tool do you use, if you use any? And then till the end of the feature or the problem has been solved. Yeah.
Well, thanks for bringing that. I think it's not a linear workflow always. It really depends on what type of solution we're trying to provide. It might be a new product, or it might be a new feature inside an existing product. So if it's a new product, usually, as I said, the AI help you to have a quick draft. As I said, we after getting those insights, we usually use. I think for me, I like Claude a lot. I usually use Claude, but sometimes I use also Stitch if I want to have. If it's a new product and I have to have to try new themes, to explore themes. But again, because we are a big company here, we already have design system that we follow. In that part, I like to use Claude, but I know also some people use Stitch. But for me, I go into Claude, and then, as it knows all the context, it can draft something to start from in Figma. Again, I said Claude has an MCP in Figma, but if you look at the design it produces, they're not yet polished better. So you just follow. You just as the one of them, as the director in that
instance.
I'm the one who are going to look at the thinking pattern of it, right? To see if those insights in terms of the problems it highlighting and all that are addressed, and what it's suggesting, if it can work in our context. That judgment I can do. But you might change most of the things, but at least it gives you where to start thinking from. So it's faster than navigating into multiple websites, screenshotting, understanding how they do things.
I agree.
So yeah, that's the next part. Then after having those insights, is to try to create like kind of quick mood board. I like to create mood board because I don't want you to take it as final product or something that you can rely on, but you can definitely start from it, and it helps you thinking through. Yeah. So then another good thing with it is, once you decided the approach you want to take, again, it can also help you have multiple iteration of that approach again, depending on. So it's easier, instead of having to, for each feature, each flow you want to create, to go on the web to set up people who are doing it. It's easy to give it for AI to help you in that process, and give you iteration at every step of the workflow. Yeah. In the end, if you look at it, is mostly like you still do the work. You still do the work. What AI helps you is just basically it's speeding it. A lot of redundant work that you've been doing, as I said, you're not doing it anymore. But again, at the end of the day, the output have to be from your thinking, have to be from your decisions. So after having that what I call mood board, and picking up an approach that we want to follow, of course you have to modify it at the end of the day, because I don't think we capture everything, and sometimes it goes off, and you have to explain the context again. So that's the thing that happened. And at some time, if you don't really know what you want, AI will not help you, because you will also, the context will be the wrong one, and you might keep prompting it. You spend the whole day prompting it, trying to make it give you what you want. But as you know already what you want, just take it from there. Maybe you do the first design, and then it follows up too. So the multiple, it depends differently on the what you're working on.
I want to throw a question your way and see the differentiation between you, senior designer who is using AI as a thinking partner, than just the output, and then see how you navigate through. So there's a scenario. Let's say 30% of users are not being able to complete payment on Irembo of your platform. What do you do next? Because those are scenarios that we face every day. What do you do next? That's a problem that has landed on your table. I understand there's research to do and all of that, but I want to understand, that will be the difference between you, a designer who is using AI to power himself, and a designer who is using AI fully, not with the context and all of that. So what do you do?
So I think, again, if there's that kind of, you have to understand first where the problem is. It might be related to user experience. At the end of the day, it's a user experience, but it might be related to the design at its own, but it might be problem with tech or internet or the way the platform
do you
is
use
built.
AI at that moment to understand where the problem is coming from?
The use of AI would start to have the user's input. Let me call it like that.
Tell us more.
I don't think you can just, for example, you can screenshot and tell it to analyze, maybe that drop is happening. But again, as you said, it's not trained on the data from the local data. So it might be some digital literacy thing. It might be a user experience that is familiar to for example, to us who are in tech world, or to Western, but then for it to see it as something usable, right?
So you remain with the capabilities of understanding where the issue is fully.
Yes, and the users. That's what I'm saying. I better go back to the user before I go to the AI. So you go back to the user, ask question, and once they might not give you an exact answer on the reason, but from the question you ask. Another thing is, actually, AI can help you to formulate those questions, right? Formulate the question, you can take the problem and ask it to formulate the question that you can ask, so that you have those insights.
So basically, if I understood you well, you use AI, you have a problem to solve.
Yes.
You use AI to help you formulate well the questions to ask to the specific users,
Yes.
so that you get enough insight to know where the issue is coming from.
Definitely, that's how I can say
That's
that.
very powerful.
Yes.
That's very good. Maybe as we close off, someone listening right now, a designer in Kigali or elsewhere, what's your advice? How do they start? How do they use AI? But how do they use AI rightly, if I can say it that way?
I would say for them, things are getting easier for them. I think they should less focus on the final output and more focusing on the user, the empathy part of the human. I think that's the part that the AI miss. There is an empathy side of a human where you have to understand other people and what they're going through. So I think that for the new designers coming, try to develop that part of them, the empathy, to try to understand the users and to think about what the users really needs before just giving them the tool, right? Because someone might need, I think there's a saying in history where it's Ford. He said, if you want people to ask them
What they want.
they would ask
They would have said.
faster horse, right?
Yes.
But no one will say, I want a car, because they didn't know what a car is.
Yes.
Right? That's the same. I don't think AI might go through the thing that already exists and shows you how to make them maybe better or faster, but it not bring that difference, that thing that is totally different to what existing. So by the end of the day, be that person who think, what else can I bring, instead of just let me use what's existing. Yeah, what else can I bring to help? But it always goes through the users. Understand the users, understand what they need. They don't need to tell you, but from that part to understand what they need and try to see what can I bring as a solution to them, but not what solution can I take and give to them? What can I bring as a person? How can I make sure these people are served and they're helped? Yeah.
But your recommendation is we are not leaving AI behind. We have to carry it along. There's no AI staying behind.
No, AI will be part of our life. I think most of people say AI is like the internet. It's a shift, right? It's the same way when we were studying in primary, they refused us to use calculators, but at the end of the day, you end up using it, and it's part of everything you do, right? So AI also will be a tool to use in everything we do, but it will not replace our thinking. It will not replace. Basically, let me call it our thinking. At the end of the day, we have to be the one thinking about what we want to put out. Yeah. Yes.
Now, in one line, if you could leave one line, something to the community of product community in Rwanda, basically. In one line, what do you leave them with as we close off this episode?
I'll say use AI responsibly.
What is responsibly?
Responsibly is use AI, don't let AI use you. Don't take
That's interesting.
Yes, don't take what AI is giving you as a final product and say, okay, I'm confirming this. You should make sure that there is your personal input. And to reach that, to make sure you're providing an actual valid input, is you have to stay close to the people. Because at the end of the day, that's different. That's what differentiates us, right? People are meant to live with each other, to understand each other. And if you live closer to the people, to the experience, understand the experience the people are going through, then at that particular subject, you have a better understanding than the AI, and that's the basic of the user experience. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Serge. You've heard it from the senior product designer. AI is definitely changing how fast we are working, but it is not changing who the work is for and what it is used for. So we are still here to understand specific people, specific context, and we have to make products that work for our users. But we are definitely not leaving AI behind. Serge, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
We hope to have you next time as well.
Thanks a lot.